All right, I'm going to ask Gary Kendrick to speak.
Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of my history. My mom was born in Czechoslovakia, and in 1919 and 1939, the Nazis invaded Czechoslovakia, and her best friend, who she knew since first grade, was saying to her, "Why are they doing this to us? What do we do to them?" And they had to wear the yellow Star of David. And a few months later, she went to see her at her house. And back then, they had, throw rugs. They didn't have wall-to-wall carpeting. And she came to her friend's house, same carpet there, different people. And you knew not to ask. And then she was secretary to the owner of a big carpet company, and the Gestapo came there, drug him out. He was Jewish, had to wear a star, and they made him, came back a couple days later, a little worse for wear, and he said, "They made me wash cars." And about 2 weeks later, the Gestapo came in and took him away, and they never saw him again. Then when I was about 12 years old, my grandfather took me over to the Dachau concentration camp. Probably a little bit too young to see what was there. And they had pictures of the gas chambers and the bodies. And then the docent said, "Look at the ceiling." It was concrete. And there were scratch marks in the ceilings where the people created a pyramid and scratched for air on the ceiling. They were still there. So then, about 2 years later, and that's about 13 or 14, we were coming back from Mexico. And my mom had married an American soldier. Lucky for me, she got out of Europe where everybody was starving. And we were coming back. We were going through a border checkpoint. We'd driven all the way down to Mexico City through the jungles and everything, had a wonderful time. And on the way back, my mom was wearing a sleeveless blouse. And she had the European smallpox vaccine where it gives you a scar about the size of a dime. And the U.S. Border Patrol person said, "Oh, where are you from?" And she says, "Well, we live in Santee in California." He says, "Well, where were you born?" She goes, "Well, Brno, Czechoslovakia." He goes, "Do you have your passport?" And she says, "No, I don't carry my passport because we used to go to Mexico all the time and buy bread and papayas and everything." And he started interrogating her, asked her a lot of questions, and I was scared out of my mind. And I wanted to say, "But she's my mom, she's been here forever." And but I kept quiet because I was so afraid. And that sticks with me today, because that would have been around 1966. So that's over 50 years, and I'm still traumatized by it. So I can imagine how our immigrant friends are traumatized, whether documented or undocumented. I have a close relative whose parents had green cards, and she was born in National City, and then they went back to Mexico, but she's an American citizen. She was born here, and now they're talking about taking that away. And the phrase of complying with what the federal government says is like a blank check. We don't know, because it keeps on changing and actually keeps on getting worse. And, where we've got veterans that maybe Hispanic with their card say, "No, I just read it in the paper the other day, No, they said, that's a fake card. We're going to arrest you. It's a fake veterans card. And I truly believe that El Cajon is a special place. We've got 70 different ethnic groups in El Cajon, and we all get along remarkably well. I mean, we're not having gang wars and all that. And I did some more research and found out that the immigrants commit half the crimes that the citizens do. So wait a minute, that's a good thing. And then the immigrants, a lot of them pay into Social Security and don't get the benefits. They indirectly pay for property tax because they're paying a landlord. They do a lot of jobs that our citizens don't want to do, let's face it. You know, when you go out, when I drive through the fields in Central California, I mean, I see mostly immigrants. Whether documented or undocumented, I don't care. But I know every time I have a piece of lettuce, it's probably an immigrant that picked it. So, and our immigrants are an integral part of our society and our economy. And they're part of the fabric of who we are. And I don't want to rip apart that fabric because it would cause horrendous damage. And I've listened to both sides in this argument and considered what everybody said. And I heard some really good stuff from the pro-immigrant group. I mean, I'm the child of an immigrant, so it has a special place in my heart. And I appreciate the Bible verses that I think Melissa, that she said, and like the other council members here, it's no secret, I'm a Christian too. And the most important thing that Jesus said, he says, love your neighbor. And I think the second to the last speaker said that, and it really moved me. So, but however, I am concerned about a criminal element, which is probably less a criminal element among immigrants. So I think it's reasonable to have our police only contact ICE when someone's committed a violent crime, not that they had a brake light out on their car. Okay, and Michelle's testimony about the 5-year-old that had to watch her non-criminal dad get arrested, and I think the last thing that Michelle told me is nobody knows where the little girl is. I mean, can you imagine the trauma there? I'm still traumatized from my mom being interrogated by the Border Patrol. You can imagine this is going to go traumatize her for an entire life. The other thing is, I think it's crucial that our police officers have trust of the entire community, no matter who they are, no matter what color they are or what religion they are. And if they lose that trust, we're less safe because they're not going to be witnesses. They're not going into hiding when they see a police officer. They're going to, they're not going to report crimes. And all of us suffer from that. So Michelle and I, if you're still on board on this, I don't know, we worked for several hours the other day in her kitchen among her dogs and cats. And we came up with a resolution, which I would like to pass out to my fellow council members to go over this. And I think this is a good compromise.
I have to ask our attorney. It's not agendized. What do you want to do with this?
Well, yes, in fact, it's on the agenda is adopt a resolution. So I assume that this resolution that Mr. Kendrick is proposing addresses the same facts, the same situation as the resolution that was in the agenda packet. It's simply an alternative approach.
So Gary, if I could ask you to just getting into pages and pages of a resolution.
It's just one page.
If you could just explain what it is you're looking for.
I'll read it. One of the things that this resolution does, I think, is help stop the fear that has been created. In fact, not just in El Cajon, but all over East County.
Can you pass these out to people?
Oh, Jesse, I guess, is doing that. So they know what I'm talking about.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, can I pass them out to the council members?
Sure.
To the staff. So what Michelle and I try to do is address the concerns about criminals and calm the public. So, resolution declaring intent to celebrate and protect our diverse community. Whereas the city of El Cajon is comprised of over 70 different distinct cultural and ethnic groups, and whereas the immigrant community of El Cajon has revitalized our city through robust business, culture, the arts, and diverse cuisine, whereas the public good holds a vested interest in fostering trust between the community and our public safety officers such that all residents are comfortable reporting crimes, and whereas our great nation is founded on the principle that all people are created equal with the rights to the preservation of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whereas the city of El Cajon is incorporated in the state of California and is subject to the laws and statutes thereof. Whereas the public overwhelmingly supports embracing the great American dream. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of El Cajon as follows. 1. The City of El Cajon hereby celebrates the valuable contribution of over 70 diverse cultural and ethnic groups in our city. 2. The people of El Cajon acknowledge that our immigrant community makes us stronger. 3. The people of El Cajon proclaim that migrating to our great city is a manifestation of the sacred American dream. 4. The city of El Cajon resolves to declare its intent to comply with the laws of the state of California, including SB 54, which enables law enforcement to cooperate with federal immigration authorities for the sole purpose of apprehending violent criminals, thus ensuring the safety of all residents. 5. It is hereby resolved that El Cajon shall continue being a place where people of all origins, creeds, and nationalities live, work, and thrive.